back to our second interview with Brittany Wang, where today we are going to be talking about marketing. Brittany is the author of the young adult fantasy series On Wings of Ash and Dust, which is available on Amazon. Our mission is to equip you with the tools necessary so that you can become a successful author someday. So Brittany, can you tell us what has been the most valuable resource for getting your books out in the world?
Yeah, I'm kind of going to break this up into 3 different categories as I was thinking about this question: the pre-release, the during release, and the post-release. So like the pre-release, I'm really glad that my friends were super encouraging, ones that had been published before, that were like, the biggest thing I wish I did was that I talked about my book and I got on social media and started building a following before the books were out, because some of them had waited until the book was pretty much ready to go. And then they were like, who do I tell? Who's excited about it? And so I started building my author platform that they call. So especially on like social media, I got on Instagram first, but then I got on YouTube and played a little bit with Twitter. You kind of have to figure out which platform you're most excited about, where your ideal reader is. But that was really, really helpful to meet my readers, my potential readers, to meet people who liked the same books or wrote the same books that I did, and kind of get into the community and learn the culture and kind of get a foot in there and start sharing, about the book that I was writing. And people already got excited, like just sharing the concept and sharing my Pinterest boards and sharing, just different things, the process, the editing. I think was really and kind of got people excited about it. And then also starting my website and then my newsletter, because if you're only on social media, the downfall about social media is that you don't own it. It can go away any day. And sometimes you play by their rules and you still don't get seen. So the beauty about having a newsletter is that, hopefully you don't get stuck in spam folders. There are things that you can do to kind of get around that. But as long as you have people's email, they are probably checking that more often than they are social media. And they are the people who are signing up being like, send me updates. And so that was something that I started building really early on. And now I have like over 4,000 subscribers on there that get my newsletters. And yeah, it's very exciting. And I also built up a Patreon too. So you can start like communities of people that like the same books or are all writers, so you can support each other. So I started a writer support group over on Patreon that ended up being kind of like a side hustle as well. So that was like pre-release. And then during release, leading up to that, one thing I did was like learning how to publish the book and learning, what are the different avenues and different tactics that I could get, promote the book and get a lot of people even more excited about it. And so I took Sarah Cannon's Publish and Thrive course, and there's a lot of different courses out there, but I always talk about that one because it was such a game changer and gave me the confidence to self-publish. And I felt like I had the tools and the know-how. And one thing she talked about was having ARC readers or an ARC team or a street team, which was a total game changer for me. I can talk a little bit more about that as we go ahead. But kind of partnering that with my platform was huge during my release. And then post-release, I'm kind of learning a little more now about ads and about promo and deal sites. And I haven't quite gotten my feet in there because I've been doing a lot of organic marketing. But those are also options that you can kind of look into and learn about and master as well.
Wow. It's a lot.
Yeah, there's so many options and you don't have to do it all.
Yeah.
But I think finding what works for you and what helps you connect with your audience the best through trial and error, it just makes it, it makes it a lot of fun.
How did you build your street team?
So the team, I had my newsletter, I had Patreon, I had my social media, I had my YouTube. So I just put out, hey guys, the book is coming. And I think I did a whole YouTube video about it. You guys can check it out on my channel, but it was like my call to action of like, okay, who wants to be on my street team? And what I said is that you would get the ebooks early, you'd be able to read them early, but you also had the option of joining a Discord group where I was going to host challenges, and there would be winners every week of different kind of exclusive, like there were stickers and just like behind the scenes, kind of like, I think I said like you could win like an annotated, scene with like behind the scenes kind of stuff. And so the people that were excited about that, they could fill out a form. And from those people, I think I picked about 20. and those people were like super excited and super invested, and they would just help me promote the books. I gave the challenges of like, post this on Instagram, or share like your favorite quote or something like that. And it just like was awesome because they were reaching more people than I could by myself. And they were having fun doing it. So that was great.
That's awesome. What tips do you have for like rapid releasing a serial series?
Yes. So just so you guys know who are watching this, we did a whole video about serials before that you can check out. So I'm going to try to keep it real short to this specific question, but there's so much more you can know about serials. But the biggest benefit of rapid releasing a series is that it can help you grow your readership fast because you consistently have something new to promote, and you can keep your readership engaged because instead of waiting for a year plus for a new book, they're anxiously waiting for the next one. To rapid release effectively, I personally start with only a few episodes at a time. I was very advantageous and did 6, and by like episode 3 I was like, oh my gosh, I have 3 more episodes to go. And again, I don't regret it because it was awesome, but doing it for the first time, I would definitely keep it to like a couple, and you could always like have a little break in between and be like, okay, to be continued in 6 weeks or something, and then we're going to start back up, just so you can like pace yourself and figure out kind of your rhythm and not drive yourself crazy. Also, I'd make sure that all of your episodes are ready to be published by the time you publish episode 1, because I thought I was pretty much wrapped up. I thought that my applying proofreading edits at the end while I was still publishing was going to be easy. And there were still like certain scenes and different things that I was basically like full on editing. And so I would definitely say that there are people that write and edit and publish as they're going, and they figured out how to do it. But everybody that I've talked to personally that has tried doing that is like, I will never do that again. So if you can, kind of get through, at least a few episodes and have them totally ready to go, then you will have so much more fun actually just promoting the books and enjoying the experience of publishing. And the last thing I'll just say is that ARC team was like a game changer for me. And the other thing that I meant to mention before about it is that you're also investing in like your first like super fans. Like you get your group and they're getting the books for free. But they are also writing reviews for you. That was part of the agreement. And they are sharing about it, and they are getting insider details, and they're getting personal time with you if you choose to set it up that way. There's multiple ways you can set it up. But if you kind of do any element of that, they feel like they're in the inside. They feel like they're getting like this special treatment, and it's an experience that they're never going to forget. Like I still have ARC team members that will like, if there's a post on Instagram where somebody's like, suggest a book for me, or like, who's your favorite author, or like whatever, I'll still have ARC team members that are like tagging me and being like, you should check out this series. And I'm not doing anything else. Like they're just like, they became super fans, and they're so excited to like just organically talk and share about the books. And to have somebody that's not you be like super excited about your books, it speaks volumes to those people that they're talking about. Otherwise, it's just you being like, I swear my book is good, and so that ARC team, especially as you're doing those fast releases, they're like really excited to keep going with you and to continually promote it as it's happening, and engaging with you if you choose to do like read along stuff or activities, kind of like I did on my YouTube channel.
That's awesome. I will say for our viewers, if you're wanting to know more about a serial series and what Brittany was talking about, we'll link the other interview in one of these corners, but we'll also put in the description below so you can catch that first interview.
And it was a lot of good information.
Yes, you don't want to miss it. So Brittany, what tips do you have for an author wanting to grow their YouTube channel? And why as an author would you want one?
Right. So let's start with why you might want to start one. One is it's just another way to grow your readership and to get in front of other people. But I think the unique thing about YouTube is that it's, for me at least, I feel like it's so much more personal. Like I can read a blog post or I can read an Instagram post, but when I see someone just talking to a camera, I over time, after I've watched a few episodes, I'm like, I feel like they're my friend, like I feel like I understand them. And really when you're an author too, I keep hearing that like you are your brand. Like people will love or hate your books, but like the people who are become the super fans, like they want to know you, like they want to know, why you came up with the story you did, or what inspired it, or like what are you working on now. And so I feel like YouTube just allows you to be that much more personal with your readers. I think I mentioned in the last interview too, Sarah Cannon, but she's one of my favorites, who just is so authentic and so awesome in her videos of being her and doing live streams with her readers and being real personal. And I just think that that's been, besides her books being really good, like that's a big reason why people are such loyal fans of her, because she's opened up so much of herself to her readers. And you obviously still want to have boundaries and like a line, but I think that it just creates this like other connection that it's harder to get on other platforms. The other thing that's really great about YouTube long-term, if you can stick with it, is you can monetize it in a bunch of different ways. So it can become another way of kind of funding your books and paying for editors and cover designers and different things like that, especially obviously if you're self-published, or even like if you're traditional, like buying courses so you can get better at your craft and different things like that. But you can monetize your channel eventually when you have enough views and watch time. You can also create a YouTube membership, which I also have. So you can have like little benefits for people who want to support your channel on a monthly basis. And you can also use it, I think, a lot more effectively to promote certain things. So I have like certain affiliates that I'm a part of. I feature my merch for my books. So sometimes I like bring them on and I'm like, yeah, it's merch, it's fun. And then I have my Patreon and I have my author website Bootcamp. And I think, again, visually and when you talk about it, it's just very compelling when it's on YouTube. Some tips I would give though, and some disclaimers if you're going to try it, is first, I don't think it's for everyone. I think it is a beast that is hard to tame. Sometimes it's hard to understand. There's a big learning curve. But if you're really excited about it and you want to try it out, I think it is worth so much if you can get into it and stick with it. For the kind of channel that I think most of us are looking at, I would also think about your audience. Are you directing your content mostly to readers? Or are you connecting your content mostly to writers? And why would you do that? Are you gonna try to reach both? And if you are, like, how are you gonna balance that? I chose to go mostly the writer route when I first started, because I just wanted to connect with other writers and I wanted to share, but I also wanted to learn. And I saw people already doing those kind of channels. So that's kind of, how I got into that. And like, I loved teaching. So that was another thing of like, okay, I learned this, now I want to share it. So I looked at like the kind of person that I am, but I will also say that a lot of people that follow me don't necessarily read my genre. So I'm having to find or think of, do I start another YouTube channel, that directs mostly to readers who write or read the kind of books that I write? Do I just focus on another platform like TikTok or something where I can mostly target my readers? So those are just things to like think of before you get into it. Like, what kind of content do you want to do? One thing I did think of is how I could reach the readers and writers is reading young adult fantasy books and then doing videos on like, what did I learn about writing from reading those books? Things like that, where I could kind of blend both audiences and see how that goes. But I think like I said, it's a big learning curve, and there are tons of YouTube channels out there that are like YouTube help channels, like YouTube channels that teach you how to do YouTube. And I would binge those. I would take notes on their videos. I have whole playlists of ones that I've found the most helpful. And I will just shout out Think Media and Catherine Manning, I think, are ones that I watch a lot. And they've just given me so many like free resources and tips and just different things that I feel like, okay, I can try this and take that and kind of up my game every time I do a video. I would also make sure your content, when you're thinking about a topic, the best ones that are searchable or that, people really connect with, especially when they don't know you in the beginning, is something that's educational, entertaining, or inspiring. So if you can fit one of the topic that you're thinking of in one of those categories and kind of figure out how to market that to your audience. That is super, super helpful because it's something that you're sharing. It's also something that they find valuable. And the last thing I'll say is to have fun. And we were actually talking about this before we got on the official interview, but I was just like, it's very easy for me, especially as like a little bit of a perfectionist and also someone who like likes to have a plan and likes to have all the notes and whatever. It's very easy to get into this place where you like are so focused on making a good video that people can tell you're not having fun. Like, like you're either robotic or you're like a little reserved or whatever, and you're not really showing who you are. And I think the channels that I love watching the most are the people who look comfortable in their own skin, are having fun, and are giving great value, but are doing it in a way that's like unique to them. And in a way that like, I feel like every time I watch one of their videos, I'm checking in with a friend. And so that's just something that like, I've been trying to tell myself before I watch it or before I record a video every time. It's like, okay, remember, if like, this is something like you've decided to do, you've committed to do, you want to do, but have fun, and like, let that kind of exude as I'm recording. So
that's great advice. And you nail that on your channel. I love your videos. If you haven't already checked out Brittany's channel, we highly recommend it. She's got awesome advice on there for writers. And then she also talks her books, but yeah, you do a fantastic job on yours.
Thank you. That's what you want to hear.
Is there anything that you do specifically to market or promote your books on your YouTube channel?
Yeah. And again, I thought of like kind of 3 different categories. So like pre-release, I focused a lot on giving updates on my book, like this is, describing what it's about first, but then being like, okay, now I'm in the outlining. This is how I'm outlining it, or this is how I'm editing, or these are the things that are going wrong. Like people love videos that are like, these are the top 10 things that you should not do that I learned the hard way, So sharing those things, the behind the scenes details, and inviting people to sign up to my newsletter to get even more, was also another step. During release, I really enjoyed, and this is something that's probably partial to me, but I really enjoyed doing read-along videos. I really got into doing live streams with my audience in the past like 2 years, I think. And so I did live readings, I did book discussions, I answered their questions, I interacted with them live, obviously, and then I hosted activities and even contests. Like we did a trivia game after everybody read episode 2, which was really fun. And then I hosted a fan art competition during one, and then featured everybody's art in one of the videos. So I think that really, again, got people involved and excited to like, oh, I don't want to miss out on like all the fun things. So like, I'm gonna read so that I can get in on the activities. And then post-release, I'm in this place where I do have a paperback coming. So I'm going to soon be coming out with videos that kind of, here's the cover reveal and here's the thing. I'm going to get back into that. But I think in the in-between where I'm doing more of my normal content, like tips and stuff, I always try to like relate in some way back to my books in an organic way. So if I'm talking about outlining, I can talk about what I learned about outlining my book, or if I'm talking about publishing, or if I'm, doing different things like that, but also I can also sprinkle in sharing updates, talking about sales that are coming up, or even more like behind the scenes stuff that people ask for. So those are some ideas.
So did you start pretty early on your YouTube channel talking about your book, like even when you were just outlining and like really early on, just to naturally kind of get a conversation going about it?
Yeah. So, man, I think it was 2018 that I started my YouTube channel. And I actually started that because on Instagram, where I originally started, I was on Instagram stories, which had just become a thing. And I was like, okay, I want to try this. And it's like video again, to like be personal and to like connect with people. And I had people starting to ask, like, do you have a YouTube channel? Like, have you thought about doing one? So I got into that. And at that point, I think it was, equal parts sharing what I'm learning as I'm writing it. And then also, again, like sharing, this is kind of like the concept. These are like the comp titles. Like, again, this is like my Pinterest board or different things like that. And so yeah, some people have been following me all the way 2018. And then by the time like the book came out, they were like, it's finally here. So that was really fun. And I think, you know, you have to be creative if it's going to take you a while to finish. But I think it is really cool also personally for me to go back to those videos and like kind of I rewatch them every once in a while just to be like, first like cringeworthy, but also like this is like my chronicle, my journal of like how I got to this point. And these were the things that I thought I knew. And sometimes I do videos like I think I did one video of like, this is my writing process. And then like a year or two later, I was like, this is my updated writing process. And these are things that I've learned since. And you can always like kind of organically talk about whatever project you're writing, I think within that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I love
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the website services that you offer.
Yeah. So I have a couple different services. One is designing websites and newsletters for people. That's something that I'm kind of moving a little way away from because publishing has taken on a lot and having a baby. So that's going to change a whole lot and take a lot of my time. But the other thing that I do is I have an author website bootcamp course. And so right now it's set up as a self-study that you can go through the course at your own pace. And it shows you how to not only design your website in the most easiest way, because Wix.com has drag and drop stuff, which is what I use. And so I show all of the tips and all of the strategy that I used in creating my website in that course. And I kind of walk through all the features live. And then I talk about not only design, but strategy and why you should set up your website the way you should to sort of bring your viewer from like, okay, I'm going on this website and now what do I do? You know, like you kind of want to guide your viewer to what you want them to do. So if your main thing that you're kind of wanting them to do is sign up for your newsletter, then everything that you create kind of moves them in that eventual direction, whether it takes 2 or 3 clicks, you know, because it's like, oh, they came to like read more about your book. Oh, okay. Oh, there's this button about I can get behind the scenes stuff. Click that. Oh, I have to sign up for a newsletter. Click that, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I talk about how to kind of get, offer things to your viewers that, you know, first are on your website that are kind of cool to get them there, and then how to get them kind of on the newsletter so that you can have this like deeper relationship with them. And yeah, so I do like kind of suggest that you go through a new module every week if you can. And you could have your website done if you did that within like a month. Wow. So, which is really fun. Yeah. And I originally ran the course live kind of in that structure. And what I would like to do maybe this year again is kind of update the course a little bit and run it live again. Because some people take a very long time to get through the course, and I'm like, guys, get it done so that you can share it. But people really got it done when I was running it live with them. And so I'm thinking of doing that as well, to just have an option of like, okay, if you want to get it done in a month, like we're going to do bootcamp style and like get through it. And then the final option that I have is if you already have a website, but you feel like it could be optimized or you just want a few tips, I can record myself going through your website in like 30 minutes and give tips on how to optimize either the strategy or the design or different things like that.
Wow. Awesome. I'll have to check that out. I still need my website. I've been slacking.
And if you want a website to reference or look at Brittany's website.
It's so good.
It's fabulous.
Yes. It's so professional. It's so easy to know exactly what she offers, what she's about, to find her books, to like find all her social media accounts. It's very, very well set up.
Mm-hmm. So definitely is.
Yeah. Brittany, what is one piece of advice you'd like to leave with our viewers?
Yes. I had to think long and hard about this because I'm like, there's so many things I could say, but I think when it comes down to it, I would say the biggest thing that's helped me on my journey is to find or create a writer support group. I wouldn't be where I am, or my books wouldn't be at the place that they are without the other writers around me. And so I just think it's really, really important to find those people, especially not just, I mean, you have support, you can have your family and stuff, but if you get a smaller group of writers, they know what it's like. They know what you're going through. Some of them might be ahead in the journey. Some of them might be behind. And so those people that are ahead of you, you can kind of look to and ask questions and glean from what they've learned. The writers that are behind you, you can kind of be that person to help bring them along. And then you have also, like, people have their strengths and weaknesses. So some people might be really good at building up their author platform or their newsletter. Some people might be really good at developing characters. Some people, so you can find those friends. I just feel like your craft and the way you present yourself as an author. I know for me, like, I grew in leaps and bounds so much. And I felt like I had that support system, that encouragement when I felt like I cannot edit another chapter. Like I want to quit. Like, this book is never going to be good enough. I just had my friends being like, I've been there, like you, and that your book is good. And like, this is like the dark night of the soul, but then you're going to hit that, that third act where you're going to like, just love it. And you're going to be so happy that you pushed through. And, they use those analogies and you get it, speak the same writer language. And I think it's hard to find them at first. And so I can give a few thoughts on how to find them, but I really wanted to stress that, especially in the craft of writing, I just feel like my books are 10 times more amazing because of the critique partners and beta readers and just different people that I worked with. And I'm just so glad that even though I was like, I thought this book was done, what are you telling me that I need to keep working on it? I'm just so glad that like the first books I came out with like are getting like 5-star reviews on Amazon. And again, it's like part talent and part like coming from you. And then it's a lot of like everybody else telling you what you're doing wrong and how you can improve. So I would definitely encourage that. And I would say where to find them. I would find a social media that you enjoy. And so I really liked Instagram. So I started there. And you can find friends through hashtags like writer or bookish hashtags. I jumped on a bunch of Instagram challenges. I actually hosted an Instagram challenge myself too, which was a big game changer for me. And that's always great because everybody's super interactive and engaging there. And then I buddied up with a couple of critique partners. So that's kind of where I started. And then I had sort of like a growing list of friends that when I needed beta readers, they were ready and excited to jump in. And now from all of those people, I actually have 2 different, what we're calling writer masterminds, where we meet every week on video chat. There's like one group with 3 of us and one group with 4 of us. And we say our goals in the beginning of the meeting, like a couple minutes of like, this is what I did the last week, kind of checking in. Then one person kind of gets the hot seat. So they get to kind of share like, okay, this is like, something about my book or something about how I'm promoting it or something about like I'm working on my website. We all give feedback. And then the last few minutes, we share goals for the next week. And I've been a part of these groups for one of them's over a year. I think the other one might be around the same. And it's just like so encouraging and so good. I think on my friend Holly Davis's channel, we did with one of the groups, we did like a Q&A about how we did it. And that was really fun. So if you want more information, you could do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like social media, there's some Facebook groups that are really good for writers. And then I'll just put in here too, that I host a writer support group over on Patreon, and we have a Discord group where a lot of people have found critique partners, beta readers, and just all around support systems to get to the next step and the next level of where they want to go in their career. So
I think that's the best advice. Me and Brooke, we found each other on Instagram and like we, critique our partners now. And I'm like, what was I doing before? Like what I think as writers, we think it's got to be this like solo, lonely journey. And it is like the writing, yes, but it doesn't have to be like that all the time. And like without feedback and without like that writer community, it's a lonely life being a writer.
Uh-huh.
You,
It really is.
you've got to
can
have
be.
that community. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be. And that's
Mm-mm.
where I think that, you know, and like some of us are like, well, I'm an introvert and I don't like, you know, I'm like nervous to share my stuff. And you have to find the right people.
Yeah.
I ran a activity once about helping people find critique partners, and there was this whole like, you know, ask the person this or find people that are like this, because it's kind of like dating where you're like, okay, we're like kind of stepping in and like we're gonna see if we jive, and like it might not work out, you know.
Yep.
But when it does, and when you find it, it's just like it's a total game changer.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I agree. I was telling Karlie, I was like, I it's so rare for me to find someone as obsessive as I am.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you like find her and you're like, I'm never letting you go.
It's like, really? I'm like, yep, we're friends for life now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can like support each other too when your books are coming out and different things like that. It's like you have those people to like be in your corner and to be like, yes,
Mhm.
I've read, you know, their writing and I've, you know, they're awesome. And, you know, you just have one more person to be like, you know, helping you get out there.
Yes.
And
We
to
need that as
celebrate with you
writers.
too.
Mhm.
Yes.
Or to cry with you.
Or to cry with you. Yeah.
Struggle to go.
Oh, this is so much fun. Thank you so much, Brittany, for doing this interview with us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thank
asking me. This is
you.
definitely
Mhm.
a lot of fun.
And don't forget everyone to check out Brittany's YA fantasy series On Wings of Ash and Dust. It is available on Amazon and it is so good. And then check out her YouTube channel where you find out more about her books and you learn writing tips from the pro herself. And then we'll link all of Brittany's social media accounts in the description below, including her website where you can find her other services that she offers, including her website design. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and ring the bell to be notified when our next video is up. We're so appreciative of you coming to watch today. So thanks, everyone. Bye.